Hey guys, it's me, Captain Awesome, and I am with one A-Holes of the Galaxy member, Evention so far.
Hey guys.
And we are going to talk about, as you know, there's been a lot of awesome crap going on throughout this week. Obviously, Spider-Man and his characters have returned to Marvel Studios for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're joining it with a partnership of Marvel Studios and Sony, which is awesome. So we're going to talk about the updated Phase 3. We're going to first a little bit talk about, the last two Phase 2 movies this year coming, just for a tiny bit, only quick thoughts on each. Evention, you can give your quick thoughts on Avengers Age of Ultron and Ant-Man.
Well, Age of Ultron could very well just be like one of the greatest movies ever. It probably will be, most like it's like a very, very low chance of it being like not that. It looks amazing like always. There's so many things that we know about it. There's so many things that we don't know at the same time. Like what I mean by that is like there's so many like things we know like Mantis, and, like we have all these theories about like
Mm.
Black Panther's sister and all this stuff. But then at the same time, like we just know going into it, there's so many things we actually don't know about it.
Hmm.
I'm just really excited to see it. Ant-Man, I think it's gonna be a good movie, but it's not gonna be like the epic blockbuster like Age of Ultron is gonna be.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's gonna be a good movie, but like, no, I'm not gonna say average, but like it's gonna be decent, like good.
I if I was going to say my thoughts, I agree on the Age of Ultron and Ant-Man thing. I think Avengers Age of Ultron will be one of the greatest comic movies ever. I think it's going to be the best movie of the year. It'll probably either be the most successful or the second most successful, just because Star Wars is in the same year somewhere else in the year, so that's going to compete at the box office. But Age of Ultron, I think, will be the best movie of the year. It's just the cast is so
I think
incredible.
I think Age of Ultron's gonna be the opening weekend because we know why.
Yeah, Josh Whedon is directing, and Josh Whedon's a fucking awesome director. Kevin Feige's producing. It's just everything's in place to make this an absolute. And the movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes. Holy shit! We are, as Evention was obviously saying how excited he was. We are ready for the ride, basically, for this movie. And Ant-Man, I'm very excited about it because it's bringing in a fresh new superhero. It's bringing in a new type of world to the MCU, and I think it's gonna be a really good movie, an inspirational movie, something different pretty much to the MCU. And I do agree with Evention. It won't be obviously as great as Age of Ultron will be, but I think it'll be a good movie. And hopefully, and successful enough for future sequels in the future. And I can't wait to see how Ant-Man and Wasp and everyone's going to be used for the future, especially in Phase 3. Now, let's get to the most important part, as we just talked about Phase 2 at the end of it. As we know, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been going on from 2008 all the way to 2014. This is now 2015, where the final pretty much year of Phase 2 is happening, and then next year is when Phase 3 kicks off. Obviously, we have had movies, we have had one-shots, TV shows, Netflix shows are going to kick off this year. It's, the MCU is getting more and more exciting as it goes on. But let's go into the movies now, Evention. As we know, we're going to go year by year, and we're going to talk about the two movies, all three movies or whatever. What is your thoughts on Captain America Civil War? Actually, you know what? We're just going to go one by one, yes, when we hit a year. So Captain America Civil War. What is your thoughts on Captain America Civil War going into it right now?
Well, Winter Soldier, after the big success that was,
Mhm.
I think that the Russo brothers are definitely proving themselves to be more than just comedy directors, and I think that now they're going to do amazing with this movie because I am like so like hyped for this movie because I I say sometimes I didn't really like the Captain America character before the movie, but I'm just saying I didn't like it as much. Like, yeah, I didn't really prefer him over a lot of other superheroes. But after this movie, my opinion really changed on Captain America. And I think now that, knowing what the Russo brothers can do, I think now I'm really just excited for what's going to come out in Civil War because especially with all these characters being in it, especially Spider-Man now, it's going to be a great movie.
Yeah, I think it's, as you said, the Russo brothers with Captain America and Winter Soldier, one of the greatest comic movies ever. Brilliant film, really successful. I'm excited because you have the likes of Spider-Man, you have the likes of Black Panther, you have the likes of Cap, you have Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Iron Man. The list goes on of how many people are going to be in this. It's going to be super action-packed like Winter Soldier, probably a thriller type movie like the last one as well. And it should be just an absolutely brilliant, epic blockbuster. And the debut of Spider-Man, and his first ever, crossover. So it's going to be absolutely amazing. The debut of, the new Spider-Man, the MCU Spider-Man. So I cannot wait. And as you can see with Evention, we in it, Evention, we've got very high hopes
Oh,
for this movie.
definitely.
Okay. Now, moving on from Civil War, and later in that year, November, pretty much. Oh, by the way, just to remind everyone, Captain America Civil War comes out on May the 6th, 2016. Now, this movie, November the 4th, 2016, later at the end of next year, is a certain Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, who everyone is betting on to be one of the biggest stars for the franchise's future, the new generation building in Phase 2, like right at the end of Phase 2 with Guardians and Ant-Man. But in Phase 3, mainly there's this new generation building. So, Evention, what is your thoughts so far on Doctor Strange? Like the movie, and how excited are you for him for this movie and the franchise for the future?
Doctor Strange is, well, he's probably he's in my top three favorite superheroes of all time, probably. He's my favorite supernatural superhero. He's the Sorcerer Supreme, for frick's sake. He's awesome. He's such a badass. He's like, he can do anything. I just love his character, and I love his, like, what he like can do and everything. I'm really excited. This was my number one anticipated movie before, but Civil War took that spot after. But still, I'm still madly looking forward to this movie because Benedict Cumberbatch is a great actor.
Yeah. Okay, me, Doctor Strange, yeah, he's one of my favorite comic book superheroes of all time. He probably is my favorite supernatural one of all time. And I can't wait to see everyone, the general public especially, to explore this world of the supernatural with the MCU. Doctor Strange is going to be one of the biggest stars, for this new generation of superheroes for the MCU, like Spider-Man, like Black Panther, like Inhumans, like Captain Marvel and everything. He is going to be at the top of that list when it comes to the new stars. And I just can't wait for this movie. I think it's going to be freaking amazing. And I think Scott Derrickson, the director, is going to do a great job. So, moving away from 2016, as we just talked about Civil War and Doctor Strange, let's go to 2017. Now, this is going to be interesting. On pretty much the month of May the 5th, 2017, in 2 years' time, is a certain Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn will be directing again. This is one of the most anticipated sequels, comic book sequels, probably of all time. The only thing probably more anticipated is Age of Ultron, because that was the sequel to the first Avengers in 2012, so that's way more anticipated. But Guardians would probably be a close second, after the first one was an epic blockbuster last year. So, Evention, what is your thoughts going into Guardians of the Galaxy 2, especially after watching the first one, and how excited are you for that, and how it's going to affect the story for Infinity War and everything? Evention? Okay, Evention just dropped out. I'll continue for myself. Guys, let me just continue it. For me, with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I am just super excited. I loved the first one so much. As we know, James Gunn has officially confirmed that all 5 of the members will return, and this will be a darker movie and everything. It's going to be original. It's going to be a risk, so they're taking a massive risk. It's going to be something original like no one's ever seen before, so very interesting. There's going to be new members. It's likely to be the debut of Adam Warlock, one of the best awesome cosmic characters ever. So, and obviously he is a big thing to Infinity War. As you know, they've got to get the Infinity, gem out of freaking Nova Corps and stuff, Planet Xander. So it's going to be really, really exciting. I think I can see this being a very super dark movie. Really challenging the Guardians and everything, because first one was about them coming together. This one's about them. This could be about them, obviously, falling apart or something like that, leading into Infinity War and stuff like that. So it's going to be very exciting. But James Gunn did such a brilliant job on the first one. I can't wait to see what he does with the sequel, and I'm very excited for 2 years' time for Guardians. Now let's get to the second movie of the pretty much the phase of 2017. I mean, on July the 27th, 2017, a certain debut for a certain. It's not his debut in the MCU, but it's more like a debut of a solo movie wise, and that is Spider-Man. Spider-Man will have his first solo movie in the MCU in 2017 in 2 years' time. The movie will obviously be made by Marvel Studios and Sony. Basically, they will work together to make this movie, which is really going to be cool. We'll see how they work together as a partnership and everything. And I'm really excited to see what they do. I'm really excited to see how they connect it. I'm excited to see what villain they go with, and the post-credit scenes, the camos and stuff of some characters. I'm really excited to see how they do it, because this will be the first time ever they do a solo movie set in the MCU of Spider-Man. So really excited, and obviously he is one of the big stars for the future. All right, let me go through this. Okay, In November the 3rd, 2017, a certain Thor Ragnarok, aka Thor 3, will be happening. Thor Ragnarok was, the Ragnarok was one of the biggest storylines ever in, Thor's history and everything. Has something to do with Surfer, it was like the end of the Armageddon for Asgard, Beta Ray Bill was involved, Boulder the Brave, Enchantress Execution. It was fucking crazy, basically. And I obviously the return of Loki, and I think it's gonna be big. Obviously, remember the Gauntlet and also the Tesseract Infinity Gem is still in Asgard, so they've got to get it out of there. So, and remember, Thanos is apparently going to appear in in a movie in 2016, a movie in 2017 before Infinity War. So he will make camos, including also he's gonna make a camo in Age of Ultron as well. It's been confirmed. So don't be surprised if he appears at the end of for Rakanov to basically get that Infinity Gem leading into Infinity War the next year after. So really exciting. I'm really excited to see the final Thor movie, which is likely to be the final one of the trilogy. I think it could be potentially a great epic blockbuster, and this was my favorite Thor storyline, so I'm really excited. Now, let me go to the next movie, obviously. Now, going into 2018, it is Avengers Infinity War Part 1, May the 4th, 2018. This is indeed the biggest and most anticipated pro comic book movie ever. This is going to be the most biggest crossover movie pro to date. As you know, this is only Part 1, Part 2 is in 2019. So this is the first half, but it makes sense because Thanos is such a brilliant, massive villain. Infinity War is so huge, basically. It's such a huge storyline. So it makes sense why they've done two parts. Plus, the Russo brothers are apparently going to do it, so to replace Josh Whedon, because Josh Whedon's a bit tired of doing Avengers movies. He's still sticking with the MCU, but he is tired, so I understand it. But I'm very excited to see the Russo brothers take on an Avengers movie. Civil War is a crossover movie, so that kind of adds to the element of what we're gonna get, what kind of feeling we're gonna get with the Russo brothers doing it. So we're gonna have to wait and see, basically. But Avengers Infinity War, I can't wait. It's gonna pretty much bring all the original Avengers and the new Avengers together. It's gonna be really cool, and I can't wait to see Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet for Part 1. Now, for Black Panther, July the 6th, 2018, Black Panther is going to be one of the most unique movies ever, pretty much. Because the world of Wakanda and the Jungle Kingdom and everything is just so beautiful and but so cool and so amazing and unique. So when people watch this, it's going to blow their minds, like just Black Panther. And they're already kind of building up that storyline because in Avengers Age of Ultron, you see Claw is in the movie. He's probably going to kill Black Panther's father. Black Panther's going to probably think the Avengers had something to do with it, and that's why he goes to Civil War in America and everything. But then he realizes it wasn't. It was Claw instead, and that's why he's going to go back to Wakanda, where he'll find and look for Claw, who is played by Andy Serkis, a great actor for motion picture and stuff. So Black Panther is, a movie I can't wait. I've always wanted to see a Black Panther movie for like since I was a young kid, and he's one of my favorites. He is in my top 6 favorites of all time. We have got obviously 2 other people here. I will let them speak, but I'm going to just finish myself off, and then I will let the other 2 boys here do their thoughts on the entire phase, and I will tell them the list before they go. All right, Captain Marvel, by the way, guys, comes out November the 2nd, 2018. Now, this is a very interesting thing. This is Marvel Studios' first ever female superhero movie, and obviously Captain Marvel is really, really, like, she's such an amazing superhero. That world is really cool. And it will be introducing the Kree again. Because, obviously Captain Marvel and the Kree have a lot to do with aka, Carol Danvers, aka Miss Marvel, aka now known as Captain Marvel, her origin and everything. So it's going to be really cosmic, but obviously things to do with Earth. So it's going to be really cool. I just can't wait to see, how they do it. And, Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, is one of my favorite female superheroes of all time, So yeah, I'm really excited to see how they do her. And plus, remember, she's part of this new generation. Then Avengers Infinity War Part 2 happens in May the 3rd, 2019. That's going to be the end of this massive phase, pretty much. And I can't wait to see how, this Infinity War and this epic blockbuster, probably the greatest comic movie ever, ends off with Thanos and everything. It's just going to be absolutely fucking incredible. And I just can't wait. Then, July the 12th, 2019, after that, like 2 months after, pretty much kicks off probably the new phase, and that is something new and completely fresh, part of this new generation, and that is the Inhumans, something that a lot of people love. This is pretty much the replacement for the X-Men in the MCU. They're the cosmic galaxy version. They're from the planet Atian. They're just epic, the Inhumans, and, a lot of people love them just like I do. and I just can't wait to see them. In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the TV show set in the MCU, they're already building up. They're building them up in the movies by doing Easter eggs and all types of things. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are likely to be Inhumans because that would make sense because they're the Inhumans are pretty much like ancient mutants and stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm just so excited, guys, for the entire Phase 3. But I'm gonna let Evention go first. So Evention, before you go, I want you to pretty much say all we know, you talked about Doctor Strange and Captain America: Civil War. So where you got cut off was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then I will tell you which movie to go next. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2, how do you feel about it right now, and how excited are you for it?
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy was a hit blockbuster. Like, they made a fucking talking tree and a talking raccoon into a global sensation. It's brilliant, you know? And I'm really looking forward to the second one because what James Gunn did with the first one, I was really impressed by, and it just proves what Marvel can do with like any freaking thing. But yeah, I'm really happy because I'm really looking forward to see the story alter with like Star Wars father, and it's gonna be a massive build up for Infinity War with all the Infinity Gems and everything. And I also think that it could possibly lead into a Venom Easter egg with the symbiote and everything, so that'll be cool. And yeah.
Good point. Okay, next movie for you to talk about is the Spider-Man solo movie, the first solo movie ever Spider-Man set in the MCU. Go ahead.
Well, Spider-Man, he's back at Marvel, like something I've been looking forward to for my entire life. If you want to see my emotional speech, you can check out our other video. But yeah, he's seeing him have his own solo movie. It's cool because it's gonna be finally the spectacular Spider-Man. We don't need his fucking origin story again. So yeah, I'm happy about that, and I am really looking forward to see his own solo movie in the MCU for the first time ever.
All right. Next is you're going to talk about Thor Ragnarok, aka Thor 3. So that's the final movie in 2013. Remember, this is like the Armageddon of Asgard, and also this is where the Gauntlet and the Infinity Gem of the Tesseract is probably going to go out of there, and Thanos will get it for Infinity War, building it up. So what do you think of this movie?
It's Thor. I love how Thor he has like his own world, but at the same time it's in like a cosmic realm. It's like one of these only movies where it takes place on its own planet. Like Guardians, yeah, it takes place in the galaxy, but they alter planets. It's like this one movie that focuses on one planet, it builds it up, and I like that about Thor and all that. So yeah, I'm really excited for this movie because I love the Dark World, and I'm really excited to see the build up for Infinity.
Okay. All right, next movie is going to be the first part of Avengers Infinity War. As we know, this is likely to be probably the greatest comic book movie ever so far, probably ever, 2018, remember, 3 years' time. So, Avenger, what is your thoughts on Infinity War Part 1?
Sorry, I'll be right back. I have to do something.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to let Ellis talk now. Ellis, you there?
Yep.
I'm going to let you talk about movie by movie. We're going to go through Phase 3, and then when Avenger comes out, we will continue to do him, and then he can finish it off. But, dude, as you can do your thoughts on Phase 3 so far. So Captain America: Civil War, you can start off with your excitement and everything for that, and then we'll go movie by movie. So Civil War, can you start with?
Okay, so we've already had this conversation about Civil War.
Mm.
We already know that Spider-Man's going to be his first debut. It's actually the first movie debut for some of the characters anyway, so
yeah.
So I'm kind of excited. I'm really excited for this film. It's going to make so much money at the box office. I'm not too sure, but I've got a big feeling that it is going to smash Dawn of Justice. And apart from Infinity War, one of the biggest comic book movies ever.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, we did do a video, guys, like a day ago or 2 days ago about Civil War and everything. So that's why. Okay, Doctor Strange. That's the other movie in 2016. So do your thoughts and excitement for that in Phase 3.
I know quite a bit about Doctor Strange, not too much though. So it would be really cool to finally see Doctor Strange on the big screen. And who works at the I said, oh, and they're making a Doctor Strange movie, and he said, Doctor Strange? No way. They're going classic, and I was like, well, yeah. I didn't realize he was such a popular hero for the older generation. No offense. And this will be I think more adults will go to see this than children, because Doctor Strange isn't one of them characters like Iron Man. He's like the kiddie hero that will go and shoot. Doctor Strange, there's something a bit more to him that's dark and mysterious. So I think this is more for the olders, but away from that, I am really excited for that movie.
Okay. Doctor Civil War and Doctor Strange. Now we're going to go to 2017. What is your excitement and thoughts for Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, as there have been rumours that it could set up Venom for Spider-Man, and it could also, Ultron could be part of it. But aside from that, from what I've heard about the two new characters, it does sound really good. So the new characters, I'm not sure who they're going to be, I'm not going to get into that. But he said he would be focusing more on the original characters, and then the two characters would eventually meet up with them, which is what we really wanted from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. We wanted to see a gradual continuation of the original characters and how their relationship is, and that's all I want to see, really. I want to see the Guardians of the Galaxy continue and maybe set up their present for the Avengers Infinity War, and basically, yeah, that film's going to be really good.
Okay. Alright. Spider-Man is the second movie in 2017. That is the first Spider-Man solo movie ever to be set in the MCU, so you can do your thoughts on that.
Okay, I'm really excited for this film. Obviously, because we get Spider-Man in Civil War, it's probably not going to be an origin story, which is what I love, because they're literally just going to they're just going to jump straight into, I don't know which villain it's going to be. I'd probably include Kingpin to be like for his first debut in a movie.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And maybe another Spider-Man villain, not the Green Goblin, Dr. Ock or someone like that. Maybe one of the Sinister Six, because Sony have already said they're putting that on hold. And, well, yeah, I'm really excited for Spider-Man MCU. I can't wait to see who the character who's playing Spider-Man is. And basically, yeah, it's going to be a really good film.
Okay. Alright, the third and final movie for 2017 is Thor Ragnarok, which was one of the biggest storylines Thor had ever had, a really massive storyline, which is going to really be massive for Infinity War. So what is your thoughts and excitement for that?
Oh my god. This film, I've read up a lot about Ragnarok, or whatever you call it, on Wikipedia. Yeah. Because I was really confused. I didn't know what it was. In fact, my friend knows a lot about Old Norse and stuff like that. So I asked him what it was, and he said it was basically the destruction and basically the hell coming to Asgard. And that just gets me so hyped, because I can already see Thor almost wrecked in the middle of Asgard, seeing just go to shreds, and Loki and everything. This film is just going to be... I reckon this is going to be Thor's best film.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and that's it.
And also, just to say something, the villain of it, Surfer, is just one of the fucking most incredibly epic villains ever, so I can't wait to see that. But next will be the first part of Avengers Infinity War, which is looking to be the biggest comic movie ever. Crossover galore, basically, pretty much like, it's going to be absolutely amazing, and, Ellis, you can do your thoughts on it, part one.
Okay, so basically what I think of part one is it's not going to be the best part of the part one and part two. I think it will start off with Thanos coming to Earth-ish, and him meeting up with the Avengers, and them starting a little rage between them. And then by the end of the film, we will see the Avengers, maybe Daredevil and all of them, Black Panther and everyone, almost destroyed by what is Thanos, and then basically what's going to happen is it's just going to end them, Thanos destroying them, then realize it's a great power, and then, yeah, you know what part 2 is going to be. It's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy and everything, but I'll jump into that later in this video. And, well, yeah, it's just going to set up, oh my god, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though. Everything. I can't even explain it in words how excited I am for all of these movies. And Infinity War's at the top of that list right now.
Alright, well, you can go more in detail about Infinity War Part 2 later, because next is a huge one. Black Panther, his first ever solo movie, Wakanda and everything. Is just you can do your thoughts now on that.
Okay, Black Panther. Not gonna be, as you said, probably not gonna be an origin story. Beat that.
Yeah,
But the fact that he's going after Claw, and Claw being one of his main villains in the comics, it's just gonna get mental because remember Black Panther is technically Marvel's Batman kind of character.
yeah, he
And
is.
he is really cool. T'Challa is like the best thing ever. He's just so badass. And the Vision, I'm a big fan of the Vision, but the thing is, Black Panther is just, I don't know what it is about him. He's just so awesome. And his fight scenes are going to be immense. I'm not sure
Oh,
the
yeah.
Russo brothers. I'm not sure the Russo brothers are doing it, but if they were, Jesus Christ.
Well, we'll
How
get to see
awesome.
him in action with Civil War, so
Yeah,
they'll get
that's
their hands on him from there. But one thing I will point out also, Ellis, on your thoughts of it, the world and jungle of Wakanda is so beautiful and everything is so unique and everything, so that as well, holy shit.
Oh my god, yeah. It's just Wakanda is such a, as you said, a beautiful place. It's where they got vibranium. Everything fits together with Marvel, and Black Panther plays a big part in it. So that's why I'm excited for this film.
Alrighty. Okay, next is the first ever female Marvel Studios superhero movie, Captain Marvel and everything. So you can do your thoughts on that, and how it's likely to obviously bring in the Kree again into the franchise and stuff.
Yeah, wasn't Captain Marvel made by the Kree or something?
Like Captain Marvel is a Kree, and that's why
Kree.
his origin is to do with Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay, who is Captain Marvel now?
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And yeah, as you said, it's the first female movie, so it will attract, because a lot of Marvel fans are female fans, but there are probably more male fans. And then there are the kids. This will kind of attract more female fans, and if it's a female like Angelina Jolie, probably a lot of male fans as well, if you know what I mean. Basically, yeah, this film, it's gonna involve the Kree again. It's gonna go more cosmic again, and Marvel are going very cosmic with their movies. I've started to notice they kind of. It wouldn't surprise me if Kang popped up in one of the latest films or something like that. They're all setting up each other basically. That the Guardians set up Thanos. They're all setting up each other, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, I don't know much about Miss Marvel, so I didn't really give a point.
Alright. Avengers Infinity War Part 2 in 2019.
Aha! So this is where the Guardians come in and Captain Marvel come in, and everything gets mad basically. This is where the fight begins between Thanos and are the Russo brothers directing it?
Yeah, they're directing it.
Oh dear, that film! Oh my god, that just makes me more excited for that film. I can't even go into words about that. The fight scenes with Thanos, and I don't think it would just be Thanos. I think Thanos might have an army for that.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, because it would just get boring if it was just Thanos.
I think it would likely maybe those who is it? Fucking Black Order or something. Maybe might have them.
Yeah, definitely not the Chitauri. They're not coming back.
Nah, they got nuked. But yeah.
Yeah. As I said, everything sets up each other. This film, oh my god.
Oh, and Spider-Man obviously is one of the new people to probably be in it too.
Spider-Man's gonna be in it as well.
Yep. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm just going to end it there because I'm very tired. I'm not going to go to very much description.
Oh, just also one more thing. Just quickly before you die, and everything of excitement. Inhumans is likely to be, obviously it's the movie also in 2019, but likely to be the first movie of Phase 4, and you can do your thoughts on that.
Aha, Inhumans, right. I do know quite a lot about Inhumans and how basically Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are Inhumans and the planet they come from and everything. And then there's Black Bolt. Let me just go into description about that. Black Bolt. I cannot wait to see Black Bolt on the big screen. Obviously, they've been eyeing Vin Diesel to play Black Bolt,
Yeah.
It's just gonna be so good because I love Black Bolt from the comics. Obviously, he was really cool in that. I can't remember if it was Illuminati or Civil War. That was that one scene. Oh no, it was with Thanos. It was that one scene when he shouts.
Yeah.
I just can't wait to see how they portray his shouting sound effect and the CGI and
Yeah.
everything on the big screen. I honestly, this film, it's gonna. I reckon it will be like the Guardians. It's gonna be like, what? Who are these people? And then everyone's gonna go and see it, and it's gonna be so epic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really love the Inhumans, and I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the big screen.
Oh, and also another factor I'd like to say about the Inhumans, it's gonna be, as Ellis said, a great team movie, like the Marvel Studios movies, the other ones, because think about it, Black Bolt doesn't speak too much at all, so that's gonna be a good way to bring in the other members into the other members and the team members to really come into the movie. So it's gonna be really good. It's gonna be smart by Marvel Studios, and I can't wait to see Black Bolt, favorite Inhuman, and I love this team and love that race. So I'm really excited. So, Evention, are you there, basically?
Yes, I am back.
Okay, where did we end off for you?
I think I was about to give my thoughts on
Oh, you're about to
Infinity
give in
War.
your Infinity War Part 1, so go ahead.
Well, Infinity War Part 1, it's the compilation of everything Marvel has started from 10 years. So it's like 10 years later, that's what comes out of it. Probably going to be one of the biggest blockbusters in history, and then to make more money the next year of Part 2, which I'll get into later. Yeah, I'm really excited because apparently this movie might be the first movie ever with the new Avengers, and then the Part 2 will have the original Avengers with them. So if that happens, then that'll be a good way to introduce them in the storyline. Yeah, I'm just at the end of the day, see all these members finally come together, like all the things in Phase 3. It's going to be a beauty, especially with Spider-Man being in it. Whew.
Yeah. Okay, next is Black Panther in that year as well. So eventually,
Okay, well, Wakanda is, like you all said, a beautiful place. It's such an amazing, place for the comics. I love it. It's amazing. It's it's just awesome, Wakanda itself. And then Black Panther, like we all said, it's the Batman of the cinematic universe of the MCU. So really, I want to see him compete with like Batman, like not only box office, but like movie-wise, to see how they go, who's better, Ben Affleck or Chadwick Boseman. But yeah, I'm really excited for Black Panther because it's the first Black Panther solo movie. It's probably not gonna be an origin since Civil War. He's in Civil War, but yeah, I'm overall really excited for Black Panther.
All right, next and the final movie of 2018 is Captain Marvel. So what's your thoughts on that?
Captain Marvel. I think she's like the female Superman, in my opinion. She's like such a badass for a female. It's like she's probably like one of the strongest females, if not the strongest female character known to man. Cause she's just like she's OP, man, and she's like just cause no one, like if you look at her generally, you probably think like average person just be like, oh, she's another girl. She probably just gonna be able to like woo the guys over, but no, she's like a fucking Superman. You're like, holy shit, she's a badass, and that's why I think it's gonna work for both guys and girls, cause like it's gonna work both ways for everybody.
And Ellis said it best, with them doing female movies, starting to do that now, that's going to attract a lot more people to the MCU, a lot of female people, a lot more. And also, remember, the movie is cosmic, so it will connect to the cosmic things like Infinity War and everything, so really cool. Now, Avengers Infinity War Part 2, Evention. So you can go next.
Well, it's even bigger than the first part because it's going to get more we're gonna get Captain Marvel. We're probably gonna get the Guardians unless they come at the end of Part 1. Then yeah, it's gonna be even bigger than Part 1, which is already gonna be huge. But to see somebody top that the next year is gonna be amazing. It's gonna make a shit ton of money at the fucking box office.
All right, and the final movie, and it's in the same year as 2019, but also is likely to be the first movie of Phase 4, and that's Inhumans.
Yeah. Well, besides Infinity War, this has got to be my most hyped up movie of all of them, to be honest. I think that I just love all the Inhumans so much. As characters, Medusa, Black Bolt. It's just gonna be a blockbuster to see all. You saw the Guardians; they made 5 characters be such like amazing characters. Wait till they see a big freaking bunch of characters be beloved by all these fans and everything. They're like the replacement for the X-Men, so I hope they do well, which I have really much faith in they will. And I'm really, really excited for Inhumans.
Yep, Indeed. And guys, I think this is where we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to ask everyone for their final thoughts on the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the future, for the next 5 years and everything, including this year. So, Evention, your final thoughts on the future of the MCU and how excited you are for it.
Well, ever since they went to Disney, yeah, like MCU was awesome, even at Paramount, yeah. But the thing is, there was some its and buts with some movies like Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. But as soon as they joined, they've been going straight with Disney, like really straight. Like For the Dark World was an amazing movie. Guardians was great. And Winter Soldier, wow. I think it's going to be just, they're going so straight right now, the MCU, that I think it could just be like very well the greatest like movie franchise ever.
Alrighty. Yeah, they're going in a great way, and there's a lot of exciting things with the one-shots, TV shows, and Netflix shows included for the next 5 years too. So, Ellis, your final thoughts on how excited you are for the next 5 years for the franchise?
Obviously, what Evention just said, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Disney. I don't know why everyone's so worried about Disney, Star Wars, and everything. Have you seen what Disney have done with the MCU? The way they have gone with it, the way they have made the films, the way they have promoted it. The franchise for the next few years is just looking so bright. I love how they've gone with the comic storylines. They've tweaked them a bit for the big screen, but I love how they've gone with the comic storylines. And it's just such a great build-up, basically. This whole franchise is just built up to this very phase, and everyone's excited for it, especially me.
Alright. Okay. Me, I am very, very super excited for this year and the next 5 years for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I've been a big fan since 2008 all the way to 2014. I'm still a massive fan, and it's still excitingly fresh to me and everything. I cannot wait. And I can't wait to see all these movies. And I can't wait to see all the TV show seasons and stuff like that, because TV shows are starting to get better for Marvel, and the Netflix shows look incredibly exciting with Daredevil and Iron Fist and the Defenders and everything. And then obviously the one-shots are always fun to watch. And I think the MCU really is just, as Evention said, by the time we get to 2019, I think it will be one of the greatest franchises of all time. Just absolutely brilliant. And Marvel, well, thank you so far for giving us such justice and amazing movies and stuff so far. And can't wait to see you make us happy even more. And we're going to have to, the one thing I know by 2019, we're going to have a massive collection of a lot of movies and shows and stuff by Marvel Studios. So I'm really excited to have all that collection soon. So, guys, pretty much, thank you so much for watching. If you watched this live, thank you so much. If you're going to watch this when it's uploaded on my channel, thank you. Guys, Evention and Ellis' channels, the links will be in the description for their channels. Please subscribe to them. And Ellis, tell them where else they can find you.
Sorry for not being very descriptive like Evention, and also I was very tired. But you can find me on Instagram, OhMyFanos, and you can follow me on Twitter, Elshamels. And if you friend me on Facebook, I'll friend you back.
Don't worry, Ellis, you were great. And if the people don't like, they can go suck a cock, yeah! But anyway, Evention, you can tell them where they can find you.
Hi, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm Evention. My channel is in the description below, guys, and I'm really excited for the MCU.
Alright, guys, if you want to subscribe to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter, Captain Awesome93. Follow me on Instagram, Captain Awesome93. Boys, thank you so much as usual. These guys, please subscribe them, please support them and follow them. They're just great friends of mine. They're great, members of the Aholes Galaxy, and they're awesome. So, thank you so much, and we're out. Bye, guys.